If you have a set of skills that the company needs to be successful, that will secure your position. If a company is going to lay people off or downsize, they're not going to let go of people that add a lot of value. And I think we've seen that in the last year and a half with the economy, that it doesn't matter how big the company is. If you don't add value, then they will let you go very quickly. So the name of the company isn't what gives you security, it's what you have in terms of skill set. So I want you to gain and develop sales and business and communication skills that working with Cutco is going to give you. You're always going to have to sell yourself no matter what in life. You go in for a future interview, you're selling your skills. You go on a date, you're selling your skills, right? Okay? So obviously you're always selling what you have to offer no matter what. I think kids are the best at this, right? They never take the word no, right? They just continue and continue and continue, right? They're really good at it. So it's no secret that the reason when somebody goes through any type of education, the major reason they get a job when they graduate is not because of textbook knowledge. It's because of the experience and the skills that they had as they went through it. So I want to talk about a few things under this point about meaningful experience. The first thing is your resume. Everybody has a resume. No matter what your situation is, you build a resume of life, right? And I think that when we think about someone who's younger, whether you're in school or not, but someone who's younger, they usually have 4 common jobs. Okay? Generally they have 4 common jobs. And I know for myself, when I first started working with Vector being at school, I had something that stood out on my resume. Not sure if you guys have ever been to a job fair before, or a career fair, and you hand out resumes. You basically have 15 seconds to make an impression on the resume, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you pass them out and they go like this and they go, "We'll call you"? Right? What's that mean?
They won't call.
They're not calling, right? So what you want is you want something that's really fast, that jumps out, that's different, that's unique, right? Instead of having one of the 4 common jobs everybody has, have something that's different that they're going to ask about. You just want your chance to talk, right? So as soon as something stands out, they're going to ask. Having Vector on your resume is good in and of itself because of how well it's known in the academic and the professional world. We talked about our Selling Smiles program, which I'll reference later, but we have a lot of credentials when it comes to that, and people that have used Vector to get them further jobs. It'll be one of the first things they ask about, right? They'll say, how did that job selling knives go? And it's powerful for you to be able to say, I sold thousands of dollars worth of Cutco and allowed myself to either pay my way through school or go traveling or buy a house or whatever it was doing, but you allowed yourself to do that through your experience here. Now, they think, if they've never heard of Cutco, by the way, when you say that you sold thousands and thousands worth of knives, they think that you're referring to this stuff. So they think you're the most effective communicator in the whole world, okay? Now we know you're not selling junk, okay? This is not Cutco. We know that, but right away, that impression, that has a lot, there's a lot of worth in being able to say that. Now as I finished as a rep, right, I said I sold over $100,000 worth of Cutco. But I didn't really look at it now as I look back, it wasn't like I sold a lot, as I showed Cutco to a lot of people. And they said yes, because Cutco really does do a great job in the presentation. I received a scholarship with the organization, and for you to be able to say, I received a charity award, a scholarship award, got a President's Club certificate, that's powerful. It's what stands out compared to what other jobs that most younger people have. And I know that some of you mentioned some of your other jobs that you've had, and I had some of those jobs too that were very similar. Many great people have great experience working with Cutco, and I'm just going to reference a few of these books, which you're welcome to anytime in training to come up and take a look at. But this one here, this gentleman, his name is Marty Dimitrovich, and this gentleman here was one of the initial founders of Vector, not Cutco, but Vector Marketing in the late 70s, early 80s. Passed away not too long ago from pancreatic cancer, but it's a story. It talks about, it's 104 tips for living your best life, and just little daily readings that someone can do that talks about positive attitude and entrepreneurship. This one here, Jerry Otteson, he's been selling Cutco for over 50 years. He's the oldest living Cutco rep, the greatest, most positive guy you'd ever meet. His book's called The Great Salespeople Never Die, and it's a fantastic book. Then we've got this one here, Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. This is it's on the bestsellers list for the best self-help books out there. He sold Cutco and he wrote that book. I don't even ever heard of Norman Brinker, but you may have eaten some of his restaurants. Chili's, Cosmos, Burger King, Jack in the Box, a lot of them are in the US, some of them are in Canada. But this is his autobiography. And in here, he talks about how Cutco and the flexibility of the position and the sales experience and how he used that to develop his business skills. And this book here, his name is Hal Elrod. The book's called Taking Life Head On. He was a top rep in our organization, holds many records in the company. He was hit by a drunk driver. They said he was unconscious, dead on the scene when they found him, but was able to recover. Wrote a book about how you can use your life's challenges. He's now an author, a motivational speaker, and a life coach, and that's one of his books. And this one here, you can see the Cutco knife on the front. It's called Cutting Edge Sales, and it actually has 12 chapters in it. 8 of the chapters are from alumni Vector managers and reps. 4 of them are current managers. John Berghoff is the main founder of the book, and his designs pulled it all together, and he's a coach and author, and he was a top rep with Vector Marketing too. And then this one here is from the last one here. Her name is Jill Spiegel, and she was our manager in her company. She's now an author and works as a speaker, works with a lot of Fortune 500 companies. The book is called Flirting for Success. It's the art of building rapport, getting to know people. And in the book, she references over and over again, all the pink highlighted sections is actually where she'll talk directly about Cutco and Vector. And she talks about how what she learned here is what she now teaches at organizations. And our biggest thought about the company is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And about relationship building, which is great. Jason Lezak, he was the one of the Olympic medalists in the Summer Olympics that just passed in the 4x100. He also worked with Vector too. These authors and what I talked about just gives you an idea of the caliber of people that worked with our organization and what Vector has done for them and what they're doing today. We have a lot of examples of reps that have used Vector to move into different things too that work out of this office. I know that Leandro Ramel, he got a position with Sun Life Financial because of Vector in his experience on his resume. Mary Burley, she's from Winnipeg, and she got into her MBA program. About half the time most people meet in the real world for experience because of Vector in her experience too, in her background. Miss Canada over the last year, she worked with Vector for the last 7 years. She now is Miss Canada and she's pursuing other travels, but talks a lot about her public speaking skills because of Vector marketing. So the Selling Smiles program that we have is at the University of Calgary. We've done 5 semesters. We've raised over $100,000 from the money that was donated through the product sales for all the students selling over those 5 semesters. And we've been able to grant a lot of wishes for the Children's Wish Foundation through our Selling Smiles program. Something that we're really proud of and very confident with. We also have a Selling Smiles program where students get credit for selling Cutco in the classroom at Purdue University as well as Michigan State. And it's being developed throughout other schools throughout Canada and the U.S. So we're being accredited for that program. So you're doing this as a job and you get paid, and it must make you feel, I would say, good to know that people get accreditation for this experience, whether it's a co-op or it's part of a university program and degree. Now, why do you think everybody wants sales and communication experience? Go ahead.
It's just a part of life. You have to talk to people wherever you go and sell yourself or whatever.
Yeah, you're totally right. And someone once told me that if you want to be successful, you need to do what other successful people have done. And I'm sure you would agree that unless your job is going to be in a factory or a warehouse, you need to know how to deal with people, right? You need to know how to talk to people. And that's a common denominator in anything that you're going to do. There's a lot of people that have a lot of thoughts up here but can't get it across the right way. And this is what sales gives you, is that experience of communicating. Many Fortune 500 executives either started in sales or are currently in a sales position right now. Example, that would be Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks that you know today. His experience before he got into Starbucks was in direct sales, and he worked for Xerox, and he also worked for a kitchen products company where he sold door to door and worked in direct sales, not in a retail setting. Sales is also the 2nd highest paid profession, according to Success Magazine. The highest paid profession out there is a tie between athletics and entertainment. So if you're the next Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie, that's great for you. But if you're not, okay, being in sales is a very high profession, and it's very attainable. And that's exciting too, you know, higher paying than doctors and lawyers and things where people assume that that's the highest paying, right? One other thing you can jot down is to build your confidence, okay? And that's something that's a big objective of mine, is to build your confidence.